behind the scenes. You're watching this video because you have recently watched one of our newest songs called I Dare You Not to Fall in Love with Me. I'm still trying to figure out what to do with subtitles. Originally the title was just subtitles, but then I was like, but maybe in parentheses it's I Dare You to Not to Fall in Love with Me, but then I don't know how I'm going to title this video.
Huh.
We might have to figure that out.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, the concept of the song was, I was looking back to the night that we met. How many years ago was that now? Like 13?
At least, yeah.
And it's funny because when you meet someone for the first time, there's what you actually say versus what you're actually thinking and what you're actually meaning. And I wanted to write a song where basically every line in the song was what we were individually and or mutually thinking. The inspiration from this actually though, Johnny Cash, I had to wear the shirt for this song. He has that song Jackson, which is the opposite of this song. This is, they got married in a hurry and now they regret it. And it's like this upbeat song about a tragedy basically. But I wanted to do an upbeat song that was positive, and it is 100% inspired by the night we met. I'll go through the words and then I'll add any to that. But I was excited because this was our first official duet. I mean, my wife Jill did 50% of the singing, and I didn't want it to be just another song where she's backing me up. So how'd you feel about that?
It was a lot harder to have a solo.
But on my end, I was like, okay, this is kind of nice. It's giving me a little bit of a break here.
Right. Well, it should be easy because it was musical theater style, and that was my major in college.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And I was an English degree major, so...
You're the writer.
Yeah, so it makes sense. So I'll go through the words of this and we'll kind of add anything to it. But so starting out with my perspective of what was really going on. So just so you know, we met at the Franklin Factory and we were extras for the audience for a taping of...
CMT Crossroads.
There you go. And they needed people to be in the audience. Crowded room, huge place. Thousands of people? Hundreds?
Yeah, hundreds of people.
Okay. But from across the other side of the room / building, because it's a very open building, I saw my wife. My initial thought, as I was walking toward her, was, I want to go talk to that beautiful Puerto Rican girl. Of course, there's no truth to the Puerto Rican part.
Not Puerto Rican.
I'm actually the one that's somewhat Hispanic. You're not. But,
But that's cool that I look like one.
So from across the room, I see Jill. And it was all about this conversation leading to something. And so my line here, hey pretty girl, what you doing the rest of your life? Because when I saw her, I thought, definitely out of my league, but what if I could convince her ultimately to spend the rest of her life with me? I mean, that was ultimately the hope. So say the next 50 years starting tonight. So I mean, that's ultimately saying for the rest of our lives. And then your line, I'll give you the next 5 minutes, all or nothing. The reason this part's funny to me is because in hindsight, when was the first time you thought of me as an attractive guy? Like in that way, like beyond
Do you
friend?
know the answer? Or?
I do, but for the sake of the story.
I guess, well, what did I tell you after the John Mayer concert?
Yeah.
And you asked me on a date
Yeah.
for Valentine's
So
Day?
we knew each other 4 months, but it wasn't until I expressed interest in that way that everything changed. Compare that to me, I'm the guy on the other side of the building seeing her and immediately thinking that. So part of what's interesting about this song is it breaks down the difference in how men and women are attracted to each other. It's like, for a guy, his looks only matter so much, but it's like, okay, the past your looks, what do you got? And so that's why so when I saw you cross the room, you had it come in. So this whole thing is ultimately about, am I able to charm my future wife into falling for me? So then we get into the part where we sing at the same time. This could be interesting, maybe not what I was expecting. I dare you not to fall in love with me. I just think that's an interesting concept because when you meet somebody and you realize something's there, I think in the back of your mind you're thinking, I wonder if this might actually lead to something beyond just an interesting conversation. So then the actual chorus is, you can't read my mind right now, you don't know what I'm thinking. You can't translate what I say without subtitles at the bottom of the screen. And that, of course, leads to the whole premise of the song, and that everything you're hearing is ultimately a subtitle for what they're actually thinking versus what they're actually saying. So then we get into the verse. Isn't it funny? I wrote this verse for you. So in other words, add that to the irony. That I'm like, hey, I'm going to predict what you're thinking as a female, and I'm going to make you sing my words.
Okay.
So I guess how accurate for your verse. So tell me, Mr. Man, what are your plans? Can you charm me, disalarm me, and make me laugh?
Are those the things that you think women are trying to, they're looking for in a mate? Correct
me where I'm wrong. As far as on an initial meeting, the 5-minute conversation that could either lead to nothing or absolutely everything.
Yeah.
Is there some truth in that line?
There's 100% truth.
Yeah. And so those are things I'm sure that back in, what year was it, 2006?
6.
Yeah. October 5th, 2006. When that night occurred, ultimately, subconsciously, I knew those things. I knew it's not about me being the best looking guy, the tallest guy, whatever. I just have to ultimately be good at conversation. Because if I can do that, that's the epitome of fake it till you make it. And men in general, I think, have that mindset in life. Like, we either know what we're doing and we're happy to jump in there and do it, or if no one else is doing it, we better at least make it look like we know what we're doing. So the next line, where it actually would switch over to what I would be saying, where she's saying, can you do all this stuff? And I say, well, if I couldn't, would you still be standing here? So ultimately, so far so good. And then back to her line, well, you're not giving up, that's pretty clear. Which for me is another thing about the male mindset, is that decisive and committed.
It's all about the chase.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what this song ultimately is about. So you're making me feel good that I actually did write this correctly.
Yeah, you did. You did. Kudos.
Yeah. So, and ultimately, and actually that's the whole song, because then it goes back to the other stuff. So there you go. That's the song about how we met. And the date again, October 5th, 2006 is the night we met.
Oh, was it 2005?
No, because that's when I moved to Nashville.
Okay.
And I was here like a year before we met. Yeah.
So I went to, it is because I went to Australia in 2007.
Yeah. So bonus footage here. So we knew each other for 4 months as friends. Then I asked her to the John Mayer concert. The following week was Valentine's Day. I asked her out for that as I was dropping her off after the concert for John Mayer. And then we were dating for like less than a month.
Yeah, probably 3 weeks.
3 weeks. It was 3 weeks. And then I remember it was St. Patrick's Day, because it was a cake, Good Luck Jill, that Diana made you. And then you were gone for like 5 months?
6 months.
6 months. So while I'm in Nashville, just living my life by myself, she's in Australia because you had committed to be a nanny over there. So it's so funny to think about that and to tell that story to people that, okay, so after we started dating, you immediately went to the other side of the planet for half a year.
Well, we saw each other for a week in New Zealand.
Yeah, we did. And there was all the Skype meetings as well. And then a few months into that, then pretty much you got back and it was like,
all right, when are we getting married?
Yeah,
when are you going to propose to me?
Yeah, so it was just a matter of it was only a couple months later that I proposed, and a couple months after that we got married. So it's funny to think how long we've known each other. We've known each other for, is that 13? Let's see, I'm so bad at math. Yeah, 13 years now. And we've been married for over 11 of that.
Yeah.
And for 6 months of that, we weren't even on the same side of the planet.
Well, we were friends before that, and then we realized we went to the same church and had some of the same friends, and then we started going on a regular meeting to coffee on Sundays or something, and so
it all worked out. Yeah. Because I will admit, I thought, why did I hesitate? Why did I not immediately ask Jill out on an official date?
Yeah, because I'm the one who suggested coffee at the end of the night. Because we've been talking about pumpkin spice lattes and you didn't make a move, and I said, oh, how about coffee sometime?
And the thing is, if I had it to do over again, I absolutely would have just busted out of the friend zone immediately. But I felt that you were so much out of my league that I didn't want to just blow it on that. So if I could have done it differently, I would have. But at the same time, I'm glad I didn't, because that led us where we are now.
Yeah.
So the story of how we met, 100% autobiographical. That's a word. Autobiographical. I still can't say it, and I'm the one with an English degree.
Autobiographical, is that what it is?
I'm gonna let you use that word because I can't say it. But ultimately, I just wanted to write a song too. In addition to about how we met, I wanted to also write a song about the reality of what attracts men and women. That it's not the same. It's not that the guy has to be the good-looking one and all this stuff, and there's all this pressure on how he looks. The pressure is on his communication and his confidence, or at least the illusion of that, and knowing that. And so it's kind of the opposite, I feel. Like there's these dynamics going on, but yet ultimately I think you can kind of be thinking the same things behind the scenes.
Yeah.
All right, well, thanks for watching our behind the scenes video. And if you haven't actually watched the song, then obviously you should do that. Look in the description, I put the link in there so you can actually hear the song that we're talking about, which I guess I'm going to title, I Dare You Not to Fall in Love With Me. But I might put
Probably
subtitles.
the most appropriate.
But should I put subtitles in parentheses? Should I put subtitles in?
Yeah, just because why not?
Because why not? Watch the song, leave comment right here.